You were judged the moment you walked in, and you had no idea it was happening. Not by your clothes, not by your handshake. Before you said a single word, your height had already sent a signal to every nervous system in that room. And that signal decided whether people would listen to you, challenge you, or quietly underestimate you. Here's what nobody tells you. That signal isn't random. It follows a very specific biological and psychological blueprint, and once you understand your blueprint, you stop playing the game blind. Let's start at 5 feet 2 inches and under. Here's a question. Have you ever crushed it in a one-on-one conversation, really connected with someone, but then felt completely invisible the moment a group showed up? That's not a personality flaw. That's a documented neurological pattern called the underestimation effect. When someone taller looks at you, their brain instantly calculates low physical threat. And the moment that happens, their guard drops. They stop performing. They start talking, really talking. They say things they'd never say to someone who intimidates them. You're not being overlooked. You're being opened up to. That's not a disadvantage. That's intelligence gathering most people would pay for. Biologically, your body is running a masterclass in longevity. Shorter frames require less energy to maintain. Your heart doesn't fight gravity the way a taller person's does. And research into IGF-1, a growth hormone that runs lower in shorter individuals, links those lower levels to slower cellular aging and reduced risk of certain age-related diseases. Your body isn't falling behind. It's pacing itself. Your only strategic move: make your voice do what your height doesn't. Slow it down. Drop the filler words. When someone your size speaks with total calm and total certainty, the contrast is jarring. That's when underestimation dies. 5 feet 3 inches to 5 feet 6 inches, the negotiation zone. You've probably noticed that people don't fear you, but they also don't dismiss you. That middle ground feels frustrating until you realize it's actually the most powerful position in any room. People in this range have to earn authority, and earned authority is the only kind that sticks. Anyone can walk in tall and get temporary deference. You walk in and build something permanent. Studies on long-term leadership consistently show that people in this range outlast taller leaders, not because they got lucky, but because they learned to lead with competence instead of presence. Biomechanically, you're in the structural sweet spot. Proportionate leverage, minimal joint torque, and endurance research shows this bracket produces a disproportionate number of elite distance runners and cyclists. Your frame doesn't waste energy, neither should your attention. Stop waiting for the room to give you authority. Show up like you already have it, because the moment you do, people believe it. If this is already making sense of things you felt for years, hit subscribe, because what comes next goes even deeper. 5 feet 7 inches to 5 feet 10 inches, the blank canvas. Here's the uncomfortable truth about this range. You're invisible in the best and worst way possible. Nobody automatically respects you. Nobody automatically dismisses you. Your height says absolutely nothing, which means everything else you do says everything. And here's what most people in this range never stop to think about. The modern world was literally engineered for your skeleton. The kitchen counter you stand at every morning, the driver's seat in your car, the office desk you spend 8 hours behind. All of it was designed around your exact proportions. Your body moves through the physical world with zero friction, while every other bracket is constantly making small adjustments just to fit. But friction is what makes people notice you. Without it, you can disappear into a room without anyone realizing you were there. The fix is simple, but non-negotiable. Your presence has to be built deliberately. Posture, eye contact, the pace of your voice. These aren't extras. They're the only signals you've got. Use them like they're the only tool in the box, because right now, they are. 5 feet 11 inches to 6 feet 2 inches. The expectation amplifier. You've felt this. You walk into a room and people look at you a half second longer than they look at everyone else. They're not sure why. You're not sure why. But it happens every time. That's the halo effect. And it is working in your favor before you open your mouth. Research on corporate leadership shows this height range is statistically overrepresented among CEOs, executives, and public figures. Not because taller people are smarter, because human brains are running ancient software that links physical size to capability. The trap. The halo cuts both ways. Psychological studies show that when someone in this range acts hesitant, indecisive, or anxious, the trust collapse is faster and harder than for someone shorter making the exact same mistake. The brain can't reconcile the frame with the behavior. That cognitive dissonance costs you. Your only job is to match your behavior to what your body already promised. Stay calm. Stay decisive. The room gave you a head start. Don't waste it. 6 feet 3 inches to 6 feet 5 inches. The room changes when you enter it. Not because of anything you did, just because of what you are. People's nervous systems are calculating threat the moment they see you. Subconsciously, they decide challenging you isn't worth the risk. That gives you automatic dominance in almost every room you enter. But here's the tax. That same dominance makes people pull back. They soften their feedback. They skip the real conversation. They give you the polite version of everything, which means you're constantly operating on incomplete information. The counterintuitive move is radical warmth. Smile more than feels necessary. Open your body language wider than feels natural. Speak more gently than you think you need to. Not because you're weak, but because your size is already doing the heavy lifting. Your job is to make people feel safe enough to be honest with you. Biologically, this is where the bill arrives. Longer limbs mean more torque on your knees and hips. Your heart is working significantly harder than a shorter person's at rest. Joint health and cardiovascular maintenance aren't optional at this height. They're the difference between moving well at 70 or not moving well at 50. 6 feet 6 inches and above. You already know you can't hide. You stopped trying years ago. Every room you enter, you're handed a platform you didn't ask for. People notice you before you've done a single thing worth noticing. Researchers call it involuntary visibility, and it's the strangest double-edged gift in human biology. The upside, your influence ceiling is higher than anyone else's in the room, if you use it right. The downside, every word you say, every reaction you show, every moment you're not paying attention, gets magnified. People are always watching, always forming an opinion. The mandate here isn't about strength, it's about intention. Visibility you didn't choose has to be paired with purpose you did choose. Otherwise, the platform works against you. And biologically, take this seriously. Your skeletal and cardiovascular system are under more stress than any other height range. Posture isn't vanity at your height. It's survival. Here's the truth that ties all of this together. There is no height that won the lottery. Every single bracket comes with a hidden gift and a hidden cost, and the people who move through the world with real power aren't the ones who got lucky with genetics. They're the ones who figured out the rules their body was already playing by. Your blueprint has been running this entire time. The only question is whether you're working with it or against it. Drop your height in the comments. Tell me one moment where you felt your height change a room. Because I read every single one, and I guarantee you are not alone in what you've experienced.